Oklahoma's economic forecast has state educators concerned about what impact declining revenue will have on common and higher education. OU President David Boren says it is imperative that Oklahoma voters take action to ensure education is properly funded by approving a 1-cent state sales tax hike. If Oklahoma voters agree to his proposal, it won't come soon enough to protect education during next year's budget negotiations. This year, the State Department of Education has issued the highest number of emergency teaching certificates in Oklahoma history. 1,000 certificates were issued to adults who are not trained to do the job to fill the ever-increasing teacher vacancies. Gene Perry is an analyst with the Oklahoma Policy Institute.
Our education system is absolutely in dire straits. We simply can't fill classrooms with enough qualified teachers. And that's a bad sign for our economy 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And it's really mismanagement of our economy and our society.
Members of the House of Representatives Common Education Committee say they're searching for solutions as the dire projections grow.
In 5 years, 40% of our teachers find something else to do. Now, if that doesn't send us a message that somewhere we're not encouraging them to continue on with their passion.
Oklahoma ranks 49th in the nation for teacher pay.
The average teacher pay figure in Oklahoma is about $44,000, but that's not take-home pay. That includes the health care that they're paying for or contributing to, that includes their pensions that they're contributing to, and so after all that is taken out, the take-home pay is much, much less.
Perry says increasing teacher pay through state revenue isn't going to happen next year because of a general revenue deficit that some analysts are projecting could be $1 billion or more. And he says education funding could very well be cut next year.
Education won't be able to be spared because it's already a very large part of the state budget. It's more than a third. And if you account for higher education as well, it's half of the whole state budget.
In January, a state income tax cut kicks in, but there is no talking among Republican legislative leaders of doing away with it.
We have constituents that support it and constituents that don't. I think that there are other things that we need to be looking at simultaneously that can also help free up some funds for education.
I think we will be looking at the off-the-top money. I think we will be looking at tax incentives and tax credits because that's almost $1 billion.
University of Oklahoma President David Boren says he will file an initiative petition with the state Supreme Court later this month to ask voters if they will approve raising the state sales tax by 1 penny to boost education funding.
And if we put that to a vote of the people, as long as they're properly informed, and they say, yes, we want to do that, hey, I'm all in.
I would vote to put it to a vote of the people because I think it's time we've got to do something, even though I may not agree with it. And if it went to a vote of the people, I would vote against it.
Representative Ed Canaday says he wouldn't vote for it because it's a regressive tax. Perry says low-income residents would feel the biggest burden.
The sales tax does take the most out of the pocketbook of the families who are making least and struggling the most to get by. So, if we were choosing how to fund education, that may not be the best choice, but at the same time, it's very clear that this funding is desperately needed for our schools to get qualified teachers, to reduce class sizes.